So today is September 13th and it has officially been a year since I was accepted into the Disney College program. What? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Emma. I am one half of the To Disney and Beyond team, and I am going to be making a video today, kind of something different. I know that a lot of people usually will ask their followers on like Instagram and YouTube or wherever, whatever kind of platform, to ask them questions about their DCP and kind of just like review it, but I don't have that many followers and I didn't want to kind of leave the questions up to everybody because I knew I would probably, even if I did, I'd probably be getting the same questions over and over and over. So what I decided to do was kind of do a post DCP tag, and basically the questions that I answered during my DCP tag, but then kind of like turn them back around and kind of like ask about my experience and still kind of like similar related questions. Like for example, in my DCP tag I was asked about roommates, and so in this post DCP tag I'll be talking about how my roommate situation went and what I thought about my housing, etc. So I'm really excited to be making this video because I know that spring program applicants or applications just went out, and so a lot of you are finding out whether you are going to be doing the program next spring. And obviously I just got done with mine. I was spring program. I arrived January 28th to May 16th, so I've been gone for a couple of months now and I miss it every single day, to be completely honest. I just wanted to make this video and just talk about everything that my DCP was and answer these questions and see if there's anything that you guys can take away from this video. These are going to be pretty much just like generic questions. After this video, if there's anything that you guys want to ask or have me do a video on, please write them in the comment box. Can't speak. Comment box down below and let me know if there's any other videos that you want me to make. But without further ado, let's get into this video. So just a quick like life update for you guys before I start answering these questions. So I did my program, I came back, I got an amazing job, and like I just want to put it out there that like I absolutely love my job and I'm really liking my post DCP life. I really thought that it was going to be so hard for me to come back to real life afterwards, but it's been great. Do I miss it every day? Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. I probably text Mary Lottie like a million times like a week telling her how much like I miss the DCP, but life goes on and who knows, I could be doing another program in the future, but we'll talk about that later. So number one question, was the program what you thought it would be? Pretty generic question, but I think it was in some ways exactly what I thought it would be and not at all what I thought it would be. When we went to the program, when I say we, like me and my friends, when we went to the program, we had this idea that like the DCP was just gonna like cure like all the sadnesses that we had and all these like life problems that we had, whether they were like work related or relationships or like family related. We just thought that like the DCP would cure everything and it would just be magical 24/7. After even looking at the Facebook pages, and people would always tell us, and people would constantly comment and be like, don't make this idea up in your head, like you're still going to work, like it's not going to be magical all the time, but like you don't want to believe it before you go. And so I did have this idea that like I was running away from all these problems, that it was going to be so great and life would be magical all the time, and I quickly turned out that like it doesn't matter where you are physically. It could be at home or it could be 1,000 miles away doing the Disney College program. Your problems will still be your problems even if you're in Disney World. So that was just kind of like a wake-up call for me, knowing that Disney wasn't gonna cure absolutely everything that I thought it would, and that's okay. It was still a magical program. Like I said, it was still everything that I hoped it would be. I made amazing friends. I made the best memories. I wish I would have vlogged a little bit more, but we'll talk about that later. I mean, it was still just such a great program and it was everything that I thought it would be, and then also not, if that makes sense. I feel like this is also something that like you won't understand until you get there. I can still say this to you a million times and be like, don't expect it to be magical 24/7. And regardless, you're still gonna go into the program thinking that it is, because it is, but it's not. Sorry if this keeps going like around in a circle, but yeah, I feel like it needs to be said, but you probably won't understand until you get there. Okay. So question number 2, would you advise people to live in CP housing? So I would totally advise people to live in CP housing. I know a lot of people, including myself and Mary Lottie, if you guys watch my vlogs at all from the DCP, then you know that we didn't exactly have a smooth check-in process. When we checked in, we basically didn't have anywhere to live because it looked like there were too many people occupying that apartment, and it was a disaster, like with mess and everything that some of the girls had left behind that had already moved out. So it was a really bad cleanup process. Everything was dirty. It was so bad. But even besides that, like, I would still advise people to live in CP housing. I mean, unless you're like, it's some other kind of situation that you feel like you shouldn't, like you have emotional support animals, or you maybe will be living with family down there, and that way it'll help out with like rent and you won't have to be paying that much money. Or maybe you're married and you're doing the Disney College program, or maybe you're older and you just don't feel comfortable living with a younger crowd during your CP. But other than that, I would definitely recommend living in CP housing just because it's just easier on you. I don't know what I would have done if I had to still save up for the Disney College program, do everything that I needed to do to get ready, on top of finishing school the semester before I left, and then looking for an apartment to live in, or looking for roommates, or looking for an Airbnb, or just trying to think of any of that. Like, all I knew was that I was going to do the Disney College program, and I was really happy knowing that I wouldn't have to like find anywhere to live. So I would 1000% recommend living in CP housing. You know you have a secure place to live once you get down there. You don't have to worry about actually putting money aside to pay for your apartment or wherever else you're gonna live, because it's just automatically gonna be taken out of your paycheck. And I know a lot of people will bash on housing because it's dirty. You pay way too much when you're sleeping with literally 5 other people in an apartment. Sometimes I know, like, in some situations you could be like $4 apartment. I was 6 girls in an apartment, so us paying $104 every single week, I mean, do the math. It's crazy that you're paying that much, but at the same time I somewhat felt secure because you constantly have to show your ID when you're coming in and out of the apartment complex, driving in and out, and even when you're walking in, getting off the buses. So I knew that nobody from the outside world could get in to harm us. I just felt better knowing that I had somewhere for sure to live once I got down to Florida, and I didn't have to worry about anything falling through about like apartment leases or anything like that. So if you really do not want to deal with the hassle, I recommend living in CP housing. Plus all the bus stops are there, especially if you're not taking down a car. Live in CP housing. Your buses are going to be right there, ready to take you to work, ready to take you to the parks, grocery stores, anywhere that you need to. So that's just my advice. Take it as you want. Okay, number 3, what did you not like about your location? So I actually got really lucky with my location. I worked at the Yacht and Beach Club Marketplace on the beach club side. So if you don't know, the Yacht and Beach Club is a deluxe resort on property, and they have the yacht side and the beach club side. Obviously you can kind of understand how each side is going to be decorated just a little bit differently, but I worked on the beach club side. So I worked in the marketplace on the beach side, which was kind of a quick service food and beverage slash small grocery store slash merchandise shop. Wow, I cannot get those words out. So the staff that I worked with was absolutely amazing. I really liked my leaders. I really liked my coordinators. They were all really great, and I still keep in touch with a couple of them. I have them on like Facebook, Instagram, wherever. They're all really great people, and I'm actually hoping to see them when I visit next time, just as a guest, and hopefully pop in and say hi. What I didn't like about my location, because it was a resort, I feel like our hours were just a little bit earlier than like most parks. Now Hollywood Studios opens at like 6 o'clock in the morning for extra magic hours, which is nuts. So they have to be up super early. But for me, my shifts, if I worked early mornings, would start at 5 a.m. and it was very tiring. Most days, if I was to work at 5 a.m. I would have to be up no later than 3:30, 4 o'clock. And that's just because I drove myself. I left my costumes inside of my locker. I know a lot of people like take their costumes home with them so they can just change right before they come to work. I didn't like that. I like taking an extra pair of clothes with me so that way when I got off work I could change, because I worked in quick service food and beverage, and you can imagine how gross that could make you feel after a shift. So I had 5 a.m. shifts that I would have to be up at 3:30, 4 o'clock for, because I had to get up, get dressed, you know, regular morning routine, head out the door, drive there, walk all the way to my location, because CPs and cast members had to park at a completely different spot, not on resort property. So we had to walk all the way over to the resort. And then on top of that, I went into the locker room, grabbed my clothes, changed, did all that, and after all that was said and done, like, it was time for me to clock in. So yeah, 3:30, 4 o'clock on most days. So if I had to be there at 5 o'clock, so yeah, pretty intense. I was completely exhausted getting up. There were some days where I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so that meant going to bed pretty early. So in that way it did kind of suck, because if I wanted to hang out with my friends and I had a 5 a.m. shift the next day, I had to be back home really early so I could take a shower, go to bed, get my lunch ready, do whatever I needed to do, and get into bed so I could be up that early the next day. So my latest shift that I would get off was at midnight, and by the time, and sometimes we would actually go over just because there's a lot of cleaning to do in quick service food and beverage. So sometimes I would get out by 12:15, and then by the time I got out of my costume, walked over to my car. Sometimes I would get home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. That was a little sad too, because I would get home and everybody would be asleep. So there would be some days where like I wouldn't see my roommates at all, because they would be up and out before I left for work, because I would like sleep in or whatever, and then by the time I got home, like, everybody was asleep. So there would be some days where I just didn't see anybody. I mean, every shift is going to have their perks and have their kind of like bad sides to it, so take it as you want. Just be grateful that you're in Walt Disney World and you're working. So 4, what did you love / not like about your role? So my role, obviously I've said it like a million times, it was quick service food and beverage. I really liked my role. I was just grateful to receive anything. When I got accepted, I did not care what it was, so long as I did the program. I mean, I could be custodial cleaning toilets and I would be happy, because it's just what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Disney to work. So be grateful, but at the same time, I loved quick service food and beverage. It's just that I don't feel like I got to make as much magic as my other friends got to make. Mary Lottie worked in Bippity Boppity Boutique, and she got to make so much magic every day, and she had so much fun. Other friends were working in children's recs, and other girls were working in merchandise. I just don't feel like I got to make as much magic as much as other people got to, just because I was very much just transactional, kind of like service, like, okay, hi, welcome, what can I get you, and then thank you so much, see you later, bye. The most magic that I got to make, and I should be grateful anyways, because it's, some magic is better than no magic, but I would like hand out a cupcake to like first timers, or if it was their birthday, I would let them pick, you know, some kind of like treat out of the fridge. So that was so much fun to do magic in that sense, and I still got to do some kind of magic, but it's not like in merchandise. Like, I specifically remember being at my location and looking over, and there was somebody in merchandise just sitting on the ground with like a kid and playing with some toys that she grabbed from off of the shelf, and they were having so much fun, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that. But quick service food and beverage is so demanding, not in a bad way, obviously. Like, know that I work quick service food and beverage, your food is clean, okay? Your food at Walt Disney World is clean. I just wish that I was able to go out on the floor and create magic for guests in that sense, and like getting to interact with them and talk to them about their vacation. And I did in some way, but it wasn't as much as I wanted to. So I found that most days, if I wanted to make magic, it would just have to be off-site, like off of work, like letting some kids step in front of you to watch the fireworks show because you've seen that so many times, or like I remember riding Expedition Everest, and a little girl was riding by herself, and I just buddy-buddied with her the entire time and just had so much fun with her. I made her feel safe and comfortable because her parents weren't riding, so she was like this 6 or 7-year-old tiny little girl, and I just wanted to make her feel safe and happy to be riding Expedition Everest, which is such a big roller coaster. That's how I kind of had to make my magic, was outside of work, and not in a sense of like giving things away for free, just like being a cast member off the clock, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so number 5, how was your housing roommate situation? I lived in Chatham, and I really liked Chatham. My top apartment complex was the Commons, just because I really wanted a washer and dryer inside of my apartment complex, but oh well, you know, you get dealt the hand that you're dealt, and that's perfectly fine. I really liked my apartment complex, but I really didn't see a big difference in between all of them. Patterson was definitely a little bit nicer, but I mean, I saw friends at Vista Way and they had like a renovated apartment and it was still really nice, and I liked ours just as much. We were a 6-person 2-bedroom apartment, so we had bunk beds. I know everybody fears the bunk beds, but it's really not that bad. And honestly, I wish I would have filmed how the half of our like roommate situation went afterwards, because I was really lucky enough to have some really great roommates. Obviously, you guys know Mary Lottie. She was like in almost every single one of my vlogs. We got along just fine, obviously. Lexi was amazing as well. Lexi is a like 6-foot tall girl. Just the way that it worked out, she ended up getting the top bunk, and so by like what, maybe 4 weeks into the program, after she had moved in, she just brought the bunk bed down to the floor after we had inspections, and she just left it there, so that way she didn't have to crawl up every single night on that ladder and get to bed. And we were fine with that because we were all like just best friends, like having a sleepover every single night in our room with like our 3 beds right next to each other. So we were totally fine with that. We had so much fun. Again, housing, can't really complain. We did have a couple problems with like our sink one time, and so we had, I'm sorry, my camera turned off. Okay, so yeah, we had somewhat of a disaster when we moved in, and housing still came and took out the trash and took everything that didn't belong to us. We had the problems with the sink and they came and fixed those. Other than that, no issues at all as far as like our actual housing. My roommates, I loved my roommates. I tried to show them in a couple of videos. There was Carrie, there was Taylor, there was Caitlin, obviously me, Mary Lottie, and Lexi in our own room. So it was the 2 bedrooms with 6 girls, and Mary Lottie, me, and Lexi were in one room, and then Caitlin, Taylor, and Carrie were in the other room. So we all got along perfectly fine. I didn't have any like horror stories with any roommates at all. I'm sorry that I have no tea for you guys. There's nobody that I came out absolutely like hating their guts. I still love those girls very much. I still keep up with them on Facebook if they're watching this at all. I know Caitlin sometimes watches these videos, so hi Caitlin. And no, I had no issues with them. They were all really sweet. We all really try to be considerate of each other, and I miss them every day. They were all really sweet. I wish that our schedules would have worked out a little bit more. Taylor worked at Be Our Guest quick service food and beverage, so her shifts were solely in the mornings versus where mine could have been like at night. So there were some days where there's some like few days like in a row where I wouldn't see her. So once we really all got together and like got to hang out and watch like TV in the living room or something like that, we really enjoyed our time together. So I'm sorry that I don't have anything super crazy to complain about, but I got really lucky, and I just, that's my phone. I feel like in general over the whole program I just got really lucky as my first time doing the DCP. Number 6, so what are you going to miss about your program? So what am I currently missing about my program? Honestly, I think what I miss most, and I think it's what gets me here at home all the time, is knowing how spontaneous my life was all the time. There were some Sundays where it would be me, Mary Lottie, and Lexi at home, and we would wake up at like 9 o'clock and ask who wanted to go to brunch, and then we would get up and go find some place in Orlando that had really great brunch, and we'd go eat brunch and then go to the mall. And I know technically you can do that anywhere because you're like, okay, Emily, you could do that at home, but I guess it's the friends that I was doing it with, and it's like the idea of being in a different city and just trying all these new things. I love Houston, but at the end of the day, sometimes it feels like I've done everything that I can do in Houston. So, and it was also just being able to go to the parks every day. I know that that is pretty much obvious. Like, anybody would miss going to the parks every day, but there were times that I feel like I did take it for granted. I was like, oh, okay, I can just go watch Fantasmic some other night. And like, honestly, I should have done a lot more of the time. I feel like I didn't squeeze out all the Disney that I could during my CP, because you'll see this too, hopefully some of you who do your program, that you'll get in just this funk of like, okay, we could catch that next time. 30-minute wait for that ride, that's way too long. Like, it's not if you want to do it, and not if you want to make a memory out of it. So my advice would be to do everything that you want to do and then do it again, because it's just, you come back home and you realize that like you miss literally everything. Like, the other night I was watching a vlog and they were watching Fantasmic, and I heard Mickey say some imagination, huh? And I literally bawled my eyes out for a good 15 minutes because I miss it. So, I mean, that just goes to tell you anything. Just make the most out of your program and enjoy every single moment, because when you come back home, if you come back home, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it so much. So, yeah. Number 7. What park did you visit most? Because my location was Yacht and Beach Club, that's actually just like a 5-minute walk away from World Showcase. So especially during festivals, I found myself a lot at Epcot. I don't know why, because Epcot has never really been my favorite park, but especially during my program, I was at Epcot a lot, especially riding Soarin' a lot. And I don't know why, like, because it was never my favorite ride and it was never my favorite park, but I was there almost like twice a week, 3 times a week, maybe at most. It was just so accessible, so maybe that's why, but I was there a lot. That and Animal Kingdom, I felt like I was there a lot. So Magic Kingdom, I wish I would have visited more, but before being a local for like 3 months, I didn't realize that like parking was so crazy, because before I had only ever gone to stay as a guest at Walt Disney World. So all I ever knew was the buses. So I'd never really parked anywhere before. And then actually being a cast member and parking at the TTC, I was like, oh my god, this takes so long to get to Magic Kingdom. So if I really wanted to go to Magic Kingdom, I'd make like a whole day out of it, because it was just kind of like tedious to get there, because you got to park at the TTC, take the monorail or the boat, and then, you know, it just took a while, more than it did at Animal Kingdom, Epcot, or Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, I could never find fast passes for anything, so I didn't go unless I really just wanted to walk around and chill and just have like a really calm night. So I was mostly at Epcot and Animal Kingdom a lot, and I think you'll notice that in some of my vlogs, like, that's pretty much where I am. So yeah. Number 8, have you planned a trip back? Yes. And I'm so excited. I leave for Disney World in 9 days today, and it's so exciting because, like I said the other day, I was watching that video and I saw Fantasmic and I bawled my eyes out. Yeah, I think it's because I know that I'm going back so soon that I'm so emotional, because it's going to be my first time being in the parks and realizing that like I don't have the same people around me anymore. It's fine. I'm going with my family, and I feel like that's going to be just as fun, especially because I'm going with my sister and her family, and they're all going for the first time. So just seeing their reactions to everything will totally make up for it. But I think going back and realizing that it's just not the same anymore is really gonna hit hard. So I expect to be crying a lot during this trip, but what I'm most excited for over everything is that we're finally going during the fall season. And I love fall. I'm a basic girl, I know, but I love fall. I love pumpkins. My birthday's on Halloween, so my family, like, we go all out every year for Halloween, not just because it's my birthday, but because we just love Halloween. So we're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and I am stoked, like, so excited. So yeah, that's in 9 days from now. We leave on the 21st of September, and I can't even tell you, like, I am so ready to be back home. It's unbelievable. I am so happy we're going back, and I'll have more information about our trip. We're definitely going to be vlogging it, so stick around if you want to see some Walt Disney World vlogs. I'm literally so excited. I can't believe we're like 9 days away. Okay, number 9. Do you have any regrets about the program? I have one regret, and one regret only, and that is not vlogging more. I felt like I vlogged so much, and there were some weeks where I was like, oh my god, I have like 3 videos that I haven't even edited, but I honestly did not vlog enough. And I really wanted my channel to be really informational, and there to be like some videos over like apartment tours and just like stuff that, you know, viewers could actually use, especially people who are going to the program. And there was just days where I just did not have time to film, and I wish that I had made an effort more, but it was trying to find a balance between vlogging every single moment that I could, especially days that I knew were going to be memorable ones that I knew I really wanted to capture, but then realizing that like I do not have to have a camera on my face 24/7. I need to take today off and just enjoy every moment without having to just film every single thing. So I was trying to find a balance, and in the end I came back home and I realized like that's it, that's all I vlogged, because I felt like I did so much more than I actually did. So I really wish that I would have made some more informational videos, and maybe I can still make those. If you guys want to see any videos at all, please put them down below. Put your comments down below. Let me know what you would want me to film. Obviously I'm not there anymore, so I can't do an apartment tour, but I can go into detail more about like apartments and like overall experience. But I wish I would have vlogged more, and I wish I would have done more and for you guys, really. It wasn't so much more as I feel like I got all the memories that I could have for me, but I don't feel like I did enough for the viewers, if that makes sense. So it was really a bit of both. It was me trying to capture all these memories and make sure that like in a year from now, and 2 years from now, and 5 years from now, I would look back and be like, oh my god, that was so much fun, I'm really happy I filmed that day. But also be like, okay, now I'm helping people out who are going to be doing the DCP and who are going to want to know this information. And I feel like I got more of the memories and less of the information, if that makes sense. So again, wish I would have vlogged more. So if you're vlogging your program and you really want to help future CPs out, try to get more information videos out. To me, you can watch anybody in a park, but really what it comes down to, with especially when I was researching the DCP, was trying to get information for myself and prepare myself for the DCP. So just know that, future vloggers, capturing all your memories is great, but also help the other CPs out too. So and number 10, what is one thing you took away from the program? So coming back from my CP, I felt like I really wanted to like kick things into gear. Before I left, I was just kind of like working and going to school, and I knew what the end goal was for me as far as like career, as far as what I wanted to do with my life, but it didn't really like sink in, and it didn't really like put a fire in my butt to like just really get going until I came back. And then also just like seeing the opportunities that the company has, I putting this out there now, hopefully into the universe, because maybe, who knows, in like another year from now. I would also love to do a professional internship, and I was researching when I got home and found out that there's like a specific celebration and events kind of international professional internship, and I would really like to apply for that in the next upcoming year. I think I need to give myself a break, just because this was the year that Disney took literally every single cent from me. So I really want to get back into just kind of like being responsible again for like a minute, and pushing myself through school and trying to do everything that I can, so that when I do go, hopefully either I'll be finished with my degree and be ready to maybe take a position with Disney, or just do a professional internship and just do another program and have fun and just learn again. So I just came back knowing for sure that I am capable of my dreams, as cheesy as that sounds. Before I left, I think I was scared to go, just because I had never been far from home before, and I thought Houston was my limit. And going and not being surrounded by family 24/7 and having new experiences every single day, and knowing that there's so much opportunity out there, I came back and I was like, okay, like Houston is not the limit for me. There's so much to do and so much to see. And I came back, like, as they say in Happily Ever After, wanting to take a hold of my dreams and really like push myself. And I also think I just came back knowing that I'm just capable of doing anything and everything that I dream of. The DCP was just a start, you know, it was just a dream that I had a year ago, and then I applied and I did the research for my WBI and I studied for my phone interview and I got it. And I think that was just kind of like the small flame that I needed to know that I could do anything else that I set my mind to. So doing that, coming back, having all these experiences. I was never somebody who went to college like away from home and lived in like dorms as well, so I never got to have that dorm experience. So going and being roommates with like 5 different people that you have no idea who they are, and learning somebody else's habits and just getting out of your comfort zone was also like super helpful for me. I just overall took a lot away from the program, just emotionally, career-wise. I feel like the program really pushed me, and I literally can't thank it enough. That's all the questions that I had to answer today. I just wanted to do 10 questions just like you would in a DCP tag. So this is like the post DCP tag, what you thought about your Disney college program, or what I thought about my Disney college program. I would love to make more videos over it because like I said, I feel like I missed out on telling you guys so much. So I would love to make more videos just over like this DCP. Any videos at all that you guys would want to see, please put them down in the comment box down below. I really feel like there's a lot that people don't talk about during their CP, including, and I'm going to go ahead and put this out there because I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but mental health during your CP. It was something that I struggled with. I'm sure it's something that a million other people struggle with during their CP, so just know that you are not alone, and I would love to make a video over that if you guys really want to see that, just to be completely honest about it, because I just feel like it's definitely something that I would have like loved a heads up about before I got to my CP, and like, you know, had such a rough time just kind of like settling in and getting used to my new life. So if you guys want to see that video, again, comment down below. I can't believe that it's been a year since I was accepted into the DCP, so time just flashes by and I just can't believe like I did it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see our future vlogs in Disney World. We're going to be there from September 21st through the 28th. We're doing the Halloween party, we're doing Universal, we're doing all the parks. So if you want to see all those videos, please subscribe. They'll be up when we get back. Follow us on Instagram as well, to Disney and Beyond 23, if you want to see us in the parks and just see anything else that we got going on. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm just kind of posting about my regular life there. If you're still interested in that, or if you only cared about Disney, that's perfectly fine. Don't follow me, but if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's heyemilyyyrose, and I'll have that link down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have fun and don't get lost. Bye.